Hello, party people. This is Adam, co-founder of pre.dev, and today we're going to do our first live stream. Basically, we're here on Lovable. I have some project that I was trying to engineer on Lovable, and it's kind of broken. It doesn't really do much. And we're going to sync it with Github through Lovable, which I haven't even signed in with yet, so we're going to see how that works. And then we're going to import it into pre.dev and build on top of it, fix it up, bring it back from the grave, and I'll react to this 20 VC, the latest interview we had with Lovable's head of growth, in the background while we're building, because we do agentic development now. We don't need full attention. So let's get started. It's just gonna be live. I don't know how long this is gonna take, how it's gonna work, but let's get it going. So we're here on Lovable. We got this this project that I built, and then I was trying to change stuff, and it kind of just wasn't really working for me. You can see here, we have this website for notoriety, which is this anonymous note marketplace for college students, essentially buying and selling notes to each other anonymously. It was a startup I did 10 years ago, and I thought it'd be fun to recreate. But yeah, this is what Lovable gave me. I don't remember how long it took. It probably took like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But yeah, it gave me like a decent landing page, but none of these buttons do anything. None of these searches work. None of these buttons even navigate. And I ran out of credits, so I'm like, okay, whatever. It's a good example because it is a full stack app that needs auth. It needs rules like buyers and sellers, possibly payments with Stripe. So, it could be a good challenge to try to basically reverse engineer this and then build on top of it, maybe improve the UI a little bit because it's kind of trash. I've got decent UIs out of, what do you call it, Lovable before, but this one particularly, it generated this background image. Yeah, just kind of was lazy on this run, so it is what it is. I'm not knocking them, but we could do better. So basically, it looks like they have a sync with GitHub here. So you connect with GitHub. And, okay, so let's connect with GitHub. See all my code Lovable. Continue. The fuck? Is something separate? I don't know. Next project. God damn it. Two-factor with security key. We don't fuck around here. We'll try to hack this. Okay, let's see. Continue. Connect. God damn it. What am I doing? Take all my code Lovable. Take it all. Okay. There we go. Let's view on GitHub. Nice. We got this Vite project. Guess it added a super base thing. Basically nothing. Okay. Now, go into pre.dev. But let's also play this shit in the background. It's too damn quiet.
Brian is the best content.
Oh, Monday.com.
Logical wins and moving past the map.
Growth is a trust problem now. Every single employee at Lovable expected to ship code to
I want to preface this by I think Lovable is one of the smartest companies in the space because they're really targeting super heavily the non-technical crowd, which I think is the biggest market by far. So, we're kind of going after that too. That's why we're, GUI first web. So, similar space, but we didn't start at coding agent. Yeah, they must have. She's killing it. They have some fucking insane growth. You got to give it to her. But anyways, I'm gonna import this into pre.dev. So we're on pre.dev. We're gonna import. Let's see if it secret share exchange showed up right at the top. Let's go import and pre.dev. You got the GUI TUI copyrighted pre.dev. The GUI TUI is a terminal user interface within a web browser GUI. You see it here first, essentially. Basically, what we did is we import on pre.dev. You can either start from scratch, or you can upload a PRD or doc, or you could start with a repo. In which case, what it's going to do is going to reverse engineer your repo, understand the requirements, understand the code base, how it's laid out, and then our agent will be able to build on top of it. So basically, right here you can see it's starting the reverse engineer architecture process. So it imports your code. In this case, it's the secret share that we have here. And then it goes through this pipeline of basically understanding your code base and just imprinting it on our agent's memory. So anything that you talk to anything you talk about or scope on top of this project, the agent will already understand the architecture. The agent can search the project, search its memory super clearly, super efficiently, and you don't have to tell it what's going on. You could see here, for instance, it mapped out the tech stack. It understood that this was TypeScript, React, Vite, Tailwind, Radix, Supabase, React Query, ESLint. So I didn't tell it this stack. You saw me just integrate this, just upload it to GitHub from Lovable. It's the first time I didn't even have my GitHub connected to Lovable. So it mapped out this tech stack, got it perfect, got the system architecture. Looks like Supabase auth, main system React, Supabase backend, React frontend, project configuration. So mapped out an external service that it uses. We got the reverse engineered stories, which basically goes through the files and maps requirements to them. And then we have the spec, which explains a little bit about the background of the product. And then we get this architecture diagram as well to just visualize how it's laid out. And then we can work from here. So it identified basically environment variables that we would need to set up eventually. So I guess all this Supabase stuff, but I mean, you saw from this that it doesn't really do anything backend related. So we could probably just custom do something. But I would say like the first thing we might want to do is ask pre.dev, can you get this running? Put her back on. So it installed dependencies. She's spitting. She's spitting. She's firing. I will never purchase YouTube Premium. Okay, so yeah, it was installing some stuff. It was trying to run the dev server, just trying to get it running. Oh, and look at that! It took a screenshot. I don't know why it's not piping to our side. Oh, like this. Got this. Can you fix it? Nice. Let's fucking go. Sorry for swearing. Not founder like. So we got this notoriety that was on Lovable. We reverse engineered it and we got it running. Let's just say, like, can you give me an overview of the architecture? Super concise. Let's just understand what we're working with first. Okay. Nice. Um. Okay. What do we want to do now? We got to make it better, right? Can you run a build task to improve the current landing page? I don't know why I don't get this pro mode. I'm trying to use Opus, but I guess we could still use Haiku and it'd still be decent. So that's what our models we use. But we get pretty good performance out of Haiku just because of our harness. So let's see. Can you launch a build task to improve the current um, landing page? It looks tacky.
That he was at the beginning, and that's a really big difference because he's still growing his channel, and it's still very important. We're just not, we're not relying on it as the only.
Anton is a legend.
Second of all, I would say that if I was in a company, I would.
One thing I want to say about Anton is he does not get enough credit for GPT engineer. GPT engineer was literally Claude Code. Like, it would have been interesting if he went hard with that. Like, Claude Code, like, he had 2 years on Claude Code with that. But no, the Lovable move was smart. The Lovable move was smart, you know. Problem is, some scaling issues, as we see with this notoriety thing. It's just not easy to iterate on things. And the truth is, you don't know what you don't know, and that's where planning comes in, you know. Writing the code is going to be free pretty soon, so I don't think the coding harness itself is just going to be solved. In fact, like, the way that we do it is just so much better than anything that exists. Like, people just don't even understand yet. But, like, for instance, this guy launched a task. So you don't have to put it in plan mode. You don't have to do jack shit. And basically, it launched this task, did some to-dos, did them in parallel automatically, made this plan, has 10 to-dos for this plan, implementation plan, and it's parallelizing them based on a dependency graph. So you can see it stream in real time. We also have full streaming. We're the only agent harness with full streaming, fully sandboxed, parallel agents, RLM. Pretty much, I would say the best agent that exists. Like, you're getting like more like Claude Code or better quality out of something that's available in the browser with zero setup. You don't have to know how a terminal works. You don't have to install Node.js or npm. What's going on here?
Well, I think that I have a couple of things against that statement. Number one, if you think that your employees are so easily swayed to go somewhere,
Gotta get the espresso. I got sidetracked. Let's see what she's saying.
What are you doing? If there's some really bad cultural issues in your company, whether it's motivation based, whether it's just like ambitions based with who you're hiring.
Growth is hard. Growth is hard these days because you got to sell the product, but the floor is moving on the product itself, you know. So the bar is moving, and you still have to grow. But like the product that the user was getting 2 months ago is not the same as today. At least that's what it is for us. You know, we focused on the plan mode, planning stuff at first, and then we launched our own coding agent, and we had to build it from scratch because Claude Code, Open Code, which were the solutions we tried because they have SDKs, literally just doesn't work for long horizon tasks. So everything that we do is about long horizon because we specialize in planning. We plan mad long ahead. So it only makes sense to be able to run our agent for long periods of time. And we had that video of Cursor plan mode versus pre.dev plan mode. I was using Cursor's agent. That was 2 months ago. 3 months ago, that's what made me want to launch our own coding agent because we won that challenge versus Cursor. But the problem is that essentially Cursor's agent harness, which was the best at the time, this was even before Claude Code like took the lead, did not follow the plan. So this whole notion of spec-driven development doesn't really make that much difference whenever the agent themselves goes off of the plan, doesn't keep track of the to-dos, like simple things, doesn't have the ability to context manage itself, no guardrails in place. These are some of the considerations that come into play whenever you're trying to build an agent like this. And I don't know, I've lost track of what this guy is doing right now. It looks like he ran into some TypeScript issues or something. Oh no, I guess he fixed them. right now it's in the verification phase. So basically it launched a build task which does planning, implementation, and then verification. And verification is the last step. It has its own browser tools. It can run tests. It can use Bash. Has search tools to search the code base and verify that something works. What's going on here? I guess we probably have to add framer motion. So it's just continuing. See, it's like, it's really hands off. It's really hands off. That's what I would say. Is like, it's more hands off than anything. Yet you can watch its every move. It streams every single step of the way. Sandbox by default. And you can see like this was like more of like a vibe task. Still like a plan cycle where it researched coding and acceptance, but instead, you know, it was ad hoc. After this, what we could do, like after we clean up this page, basically, what we could do is scope features on top, like actually have it, like this is actually what I wanted for this app, and it will map out those features. So, I mean, we can like look at the preview and stuff here. Let's see if it's showing up. Might still have issues. Oh yeah, there's a syntax error. Looks like a comment. Yeah, I mean, we've had users say they learned the code just by watching this, basically. Page still blank. You know, sometimes when you're importing and reverse engineering something, like there are little caveats added. Also, this is haiku, so sometimes it does some dumb stuff.
There's also a question of how much of the large company's functionality can be eaten away by the current.
Yeah, this is like a question we always freaking get.
To code and do on their own as opposed to needing to buy software. There's like an interesting question in that. But I do think that the world of very large complexity, compliance, security-driven enterprise major disadvantage in this future. Now, how long does that gonna really to materialize for us to feel? I have no idea, but maybe I'm in my bubble too. I don't know. Maybe fully not seeing the big picture here, but it just feels like that is where masses are going. That's what masses want to interact with. And that's where the trends are going. So I don't know. I get like I have a reasonable LinkedIn following, and I've been penalized for it in the larger companies. Like, they were like, absolutely no, don't post, delete the post. This is not good. We want to.
Yeah, that's something we're trying to do. Kind of build in public more effectively.
Lovable was honestly one of the first companies that's like leaning into it, like go post more. Where like can you talk about this? So we'll see in the next year how this is going to play out. And
oh, I had to install framer motion. The fuck?
What are the biggest mistakes you think trying to build a community? Maybe I'm old and grumpy, which is like
multiple server processes running. It always does this shit.
What are the biggest mistakes you see in people trying to embrace community?
I think that the biggest one is that they treat us as just their support outlet. Our support team cannot get through the queue. Let's create a community for it to be a community support so people can help each other. And it just becomes a dumping ground of negative sentiment because when people else they go to community to vent about their issues. It's very negative. It's not filled with inspiration. It's not filled with positivity and accomplishment. It's really filled with problems. And then, in order to solve for that, companies are going after tooling and they start creating these community platforms and forums. Basically, Microsoft has created another like chorus, so to speak, and becomes cold, not connecting support forums that are then indexed, by the way, by SEO for all of the negativity that is being shared within it. It just becomes, it's not
Oh,
a community,
fuck.
it's like a,
Look at this shit. This is fire.
it is, but that is
Look what Haiku could do. This is the beauty of pre.dev. This is why pre.dev's so insane. Like, it's actually doing some sick UI off of Haiku, our baseline shitty model. Look how it made this shitty, lovable, no offense to this head of growth. She's cool. I like her. Maybe we'll recruit her for pre.dev if she gets bored. But the point is that this is super lit off of one prompt. And also, we just imported their random stack. Like, that's why no one can do the shit that we do. Like, not even being humble on this, like, no one can do this. Like, period. Especially in the browser, like, effectively. And you look at this, it's full streaming, it's smoother than Claude Code, and I didn't have to download or install anything. We did everything through Github. Even if you don't have a code base, you can start from scratch. And like, I mean, you look like we have all this shit mapped out already. You know? It already even mapped out the user flow and stuff. So it understands this entire code base in like a second. And then reverse engineers it and then makes it way sicker. And this is like our shitty model. This is our shitty model. This isn't even Opus. Like, we have Opus on pro mode. I don't know why it's not working on my account. I guess my card bounced or something. Like, but I gotta give myself some free credit. Upgrade, but it's still pretty lit. Like, that we just took a Lovable project that was absolute trash. And we made it pretty freaking sick.
After we saw the ads, we're happy with our decision not to be. Will we support some other?
Yeah, I mean, it's just verifying some other acceptance criteria. Sometimes this is the problem with Haiku, and this is why I want to switch. And it's actually crazy because we were trying to use Fireworks, we were trying to use Kimi, and Kimi is great. It's literally like almost as good as Opus with 10x less cost. And then Fireworks just stops working for 2 days. So we got to go back to Haiku, and like Haiku is, it's fast, it's all right, it's consistent, but it's like psychotic and schizophrenic sometimes, and like it just does not want to stop its work. It wants to just continue doing like repetitive shit. So we use it as our baseline model because like for that category of price, it's the best. But the open source model is like Kimi and Minimax, but the problem is Minimax isn't multimodal on like most of the providers. So then Kimi is the best bang for your buck. It's really honestly almost prices out our pro mode because for 10x less the price, it's definitely, Opus is not 10x better. It's like 10% better. The thing is, like, context management is everything too. The way, like, you see how our it's even creating routes and shit that were not present in the Lovable case. But basically, it's very hands off, and this thing can run indefinitely. We had a user use it for 42 hours straight last month, and part of the reason is our context management. We use RLM from that paper by Alex Zane, and we're the like first production people to use it, like, for sure. Allows us to run these agents like really long. We've actually innovated in some ways on that paper. You know, and to make it work engineering wise, like in real life. So I guess it did another page here. We didn't even get to use pre.dev's planning yet. This is just like our raw coding agent. This is just our raw coding agent. It just shows how like even our baseline coding agent is better than OpenCode and Claude Code and Codex. Like where it's able to import something into the browser, make it way better in some random stack. And this is running in the cloud. I don't have anything downloaded locally. Like, and it actually looked pretty sick. We love to see that. But yeah, as you can see, like what's it called? Haiku just doesn't want to die, basically. That's the moral of the story. It has this existential shit going on where it just keeps doing random shit and like requesting more turns. But I could just like press escape, but I kind of just want to see where it where it goes. Look at that. Look at that fucking programmatic tool calling. Programmatic tool calling, the model is stupid, use document. But programmatic tool calling is actually something super cool that we have built in. Looks like it passed. Okay. And if you want to get cursor, you want to go cursor and you want to just like code yourself, edit the code yourself, you could do that if you really wanted to. And you could Command S, save it. Bam. We got time travel that my co-founder Arjun spent like a good week on. And a week in like Claude code time is a fuck ton of time. This was a hard feature to implement. You could basically time travel to any point in your GitHub history like instantly. And it'll do it with your architecture as well. But yeah, this is pretty tight. Like we got a better like start. Now where was that YouTube video that we watched?
Well, this is a good organic ratio in your mind. You're going to say, what's a good?
Alright, well, you're starting to immediately go into attribution. How is it that you attribute? Which is impossible to do if you
Got my espresso. I mean, we could literally end the video right there. Like, it pretty much could be done there. We got the pre.dev branch on GitHub. It's already synced.
Whatever it is, investing into paid, I think, is a really horrible idea because you haven't even optimized or really learned all of your funnels. You haven't even grabbed people that are already looking for your solution in organic and figure out how to progress
She's right.
So to pour money on
She's
top
right.
of the funnel when the experience is not even optimized for those who are looking for you.
The only thing I would say is paid can help like right at the beginning when you have 0 customers. At least get some feedback. But yeah, organic, social, that's where it's at.
For the attention, as opposed to relying on my organic pool and my product itself to drive growth for the company.
Man, I love Lovable, but we just smoked them. I'm sorry. Like, I wouldn't even want to go back to this. Like, let's just say, like, hello. Look how fucking slow and clunky this is. I just said hello. Just respond, bro. Look at this.
Yeah,
hello.
The problem is just, yes, it might be working out now. So first of all, even if you're going to do paid, at least make sure that the paid payback cycle is really quick. The biggest issue that I see with paid is people will
it literally like spun down our container because of inactivity because I didn't touch it for like 5 minutes. And then it spun it back up faster than Lovable's just straight up LLM response.
Under 3 months,
week.
Fine. Maybe it's a little bit better. Put it into the system, have it regenerate for you really quickly. So it's a self-contained system that keeps on giving to you.
See, the thing is, like, Lovable is so good at growth, but their product is such, I'm not gonna say trash, but it's like a teaser. It only works for like the most basic dashboards. It only works for, it basically, like I would never use it personally. I would never use it personally. But obviously I'm a coder, I would just use Claude Code and just prompt it because I know that. But you'd be surprised that like the technical barrier needed to actually use Claude Code is a lot higher than like the average dev on Twitter thinks, you know? It's like, it's really, if you're on Twitter and you're like trying new GitHub repos every single day, like you don't understand that the average mother effer, I mean, I guess I've sworn already plenty of times in this stream, but the average person has never opened up a terminal. If they have opened up the terminal, it's white. They don't even have the nice like syntax highlighting or like transparent little terminal. They haven't even set that up. It's literally straight white system font. You know, they've never opened up a text editor like Sublime or VS Code or anything, you know? They've never been on GitHub. They don't understand what the hell like GitHub is. So like, they don't know what npm or node is. So like to install Claude Code, you need like npm. I guess you could do it curl, but like never fucking works on the first try. And then they try to use Claude and they have to like refresh the terminal, and so like the symlink like persists, and it's just a nightmare. Like for someone who is, I'm not even gonna say non-technical. I'm just gonna say someone who isn't a coder by trade. Like OpenClaw. OpenClaw is unreal. Like actually we're gonna do a little OpenClaw OpenClaw.ai. Like you can't even go to their website. You can't even go to their website. So then I'm gonna search it on Google. OpenClaw. Right? Here it doesn't work either. So let's go to the GitHub and let's try to find the docs. Find the fucking docs. Click on the docs. Doesn't load. Doesn't load. So like the most popular thing ever, like you can't even get to the docs. And then like you look at how goddamn complex this shit is. Like you have to be a coder to like set this shit up. Like it's great, it's open source, but the truth is that we built a product that's accessible to everyone. In fact, we have like this new integrations thing where you can add like any MCP you want, any skill you want. And then we have this agent that has like programmatic tool use, RLM built in. I didn't even show you guys the planning yet, but like basically, there's no roadmap right now, but we could plan ahead. We could say like we want to add these features and this features, and then the agent itself has your full roadmap in mind without you having to tell it. Perfect memory map of exactly what's going on. Yeah, so like I kind of have beef with OpenClaw because I'm trying to I was actually trying to maybe do a video on like setting up OpenClaw and pre.dev, but I can't even like get to the docs. So I mean, I'm like, how do I even expect like? I mean, my coding agent's going to be kind of lost. I actually tried. We released this video. Honestly, I kind of like this streaming. But I don't have to like lock in for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. More free flowing. Cut this shit up into like 1,000 pieces. But let's see. Let's look at some of the videos that we've released. Pause here for a sec. So this video, like this was, I'm not gonna lie, this was just like kind of a lazy video, but at the same time was pretty dope. Because what we did is we showed once again Claude Code, not even Lovable. Like Claude Code is like a worthy opponent, right? Because Claude Code is like widely considered Claude Code and Codex like the more technical crowd, the best coding agents. Maybe throw open code in the mix. Um, but basically, what I did here was like this video was so funny because like I didn't plan it or anything. I just freestyled it, and I didn't feel like showing my face and shit. It was like Saturday night or something. But basically, I was like, okay, let's set up an OpenClaw app. Like, let's capitalize on some of this OpenClaw traffic and stuff. I had just gotten into like a Twitter battle with Steinberger where I kind of rage baited him about like being forced to like do shit for OpenAI and say that their models are good and whatever. And like, I made a joke about him getting clipped by OpenAI and got like 70,000 views or something. And then, cause he kind of got pissed off and like affected by it and he commented on it. And then I hit him with like some more rage baity type shit and, got like a shit ton of views on that. So I was like, okay, let's make like an OpenClaw like demo thing. Cause like all these people are buying Mac minis, right? And on the Mac Minis, first off, it's like expensive. It's probably $1,000 or so, and you're setting up OpenClaw on these Mac Minis and whatever. It's kind of a waste. Like literally, like you don't even need all that memory. You don't. Well, maybe you do for OpenClaw because maybe there are memory leaks. We don't know how well it works over time, but I was like, yeah, like you could just set it up on pre.dev because we already sandbox and host everything. Like pre.dev gives you like this blob of compute basically, and it can map to any system architecture on Linux at least. Like the only thing we really can't do is like Xcode and Mac OS, which we're gonna release a CLI that allow you to do that too. But for now, like honestly, React Native and stuff, you can do most things. You could simulate like everything up to the build on Xcode, I think. Through Linux and whatever, but yeah, native iOS and whatever will be tricky. But for everything else, every other thing, whether it's data science, Python, Go, fucking Haskell, anything you want, blockchain, you could do it all in pre.dev, and it's through the web browser. Don't have to download a CLI. Don't have to download an MCP, even though we do have an API in MCP if you want to use our planning on top of your coding agent, but we already have this native agents already, all baked in. You get your sandboxes, isolation, security. But anyways, back to the point. OpenClaw. It was so funny because we ran. My original thought was like, because like Claude Code is like what I use. It's my daily driver, so I'm always comparing pre.dev to Claude Code, even though like pre.dev's kind of, in the Lovable Replit sphere more so because they're the ones that are like in the browser, more like application platforms end to end rather than developer tool. So yeah, essentially I was like, let's set up OpenClaw, compare Claude Code to pre.dev, like, and then like who's gonna hit a blocker first? Like that's the challenge. And the thing is, we're using Haiku, and then Claude Code's using Opus. The funny part is, like, Claude Code, I thought, like, our thing is going to plan more, right? Because we're the ones that are centered in planning and whatever. But it turns out that our planning is, like, much faster for the amount of plan you get, like, how far ahead it looks and, like, how detailed the plan is. It's, like, 5x faster than Claude Code spent, like, 5 minutes planning just to give us, like, a 3-paragraph plan. On top of that, it actually mistook it didn't even know what OpenClaw was. It did all this research, and I gave it web search and everything. It actually searched the web and stuff, and it literally didn't know what OpenClaw was. It thought we were creating OpenClaw, and that was something we were creating. Versus pre.dev just knew what we were building, and like was just like starting to build the platform. So it just shows like, and that was with Haiku. So Opus versus Haiku. Opus is like number 1 or 2 or something on the models, and Sui and haiku must be like 30 or something, or 20, 28 or something. So like it just shows that the way that we have put together our system design and orchestration, memory, all these little pieces down the software development lifecycle make like a huge difference, when working on real life software tasks. And that's because we started planning real life software projects, and there's no room for error there because people are spending a lot of money on it. So yeah, look, this also was like, I had a post that kind of went viral about TUI versus GUI, and that we were doing the TUI GUI. And I just wanted to show that, look, it's like all the developers that are like in love with the TUIs and the CLIs, right? That's the new big thing. Every fucking Google Drive has a CLI now. Like, how many CLIs do you need? And you can see that it really doesn't look that much different, because we made it look like a terminal, so you get that same feel as Claude Code, but we have all this like dynamic, like crazy UI, loading animations, like graphs, in browser previews and text editors, and like tables and markdown rendering, and syntax highlighting, everything like built straight into the GUI, versus like Claude Code is still limited by that React Inc. terminal. And yeah, I mean, like you can see, it's still planning. It spent it spent like literally 5 minutes planning just to not know what OpenClaw was. And if we skip ahead, by the time Claude Code was done planning, pre.dev already had like a whole like landing page in auth, and like um, roadmap, etc. And then yeah, I was just like wasted because one, like, we needed to install a new version of Node, so that's a blocker, because like, and that's part of the problem with your local environment, where like Claude Code has to set up everything locally. Sometimes it's annoying, honestly, on Mac. It's nicer to just have like a Linux Dockerized environment, and we have that by default. And yeah, then it just didn't know what OpenClaw was. I had to explain it, and I kept trying to actually push it, but then I just gave up. I'm like, okay, it's more than one blocker. Like, not only did I have to like click permissions like 100 times, where pre.dev I didn't even touch once, we hit like multiple blockers, and I gave it a chance. And then finally on like the third blocker, I'm like, okay, we win this. But that was unscripted. Like, you could see that. Some other videos like this one I made with AI, and I had this idea where I'm thinking of like an Apple like commercial, but I want to get the point across that pre.dev is for everybody, not just for devs. It gives everybody the ability to be an engineer, have an engineering team, self-driving product team, whatever you want to call it. But let's peep this. What was cool about this is that I combined like some Google Flow AI videos that were like super trash, but I was able to just get little clips out of it. And then I used like remotion skill with Claude Code, which is super cool. And this was like the first video I made with it. Or sorry, second video. I made some other video it was alright. It was kind of mid. But this one, like, I was able to combine like transitions and, text stuff that was like in our design system, and like interactive, like demo looking stuff with remotion. And I think that is like a super sick workflow, because you can combine the photorealistic stuff with you know, the word art and, dynamic UI looking shit, and actually create like cool product videos, which I'm not going to say this is the best one ever. And like, there are like little errors you can see, but I am not a video director. I've never like really edited videos or anything like that. I have some music production, and like mixing, mastering experience, but I guess like video editing is not too much different. But yeah, this was a fun one to make. So you know, she's a vibe coder, like all these people coming home from work, vibe coding on their time off, and then like really making progress, getting deep into the project, and like from the point of view of the computer, like, you know, just showing, you know, you don't need to know how to code, and then it's really like that last frame is like what it's all about, where it's like for the engineer and all of us, like when you open up that computer and you ship that piece of code, it's like one of the biggest like highs you could ever get, like just straight dopamine rush. And like coders know that feeling, but like now people that aren't traditionally trained in software engineering can now, you know, have the power of an engineer with something like pre.dev that goes through the entire process of planning as well as building, but not just planning ad hoc stuff, full project planning and project management, product management. So yeah, I mean, I thought this was like a pretty cool video when it came together, and you know, you should see the clips that Google Flow outputted. Like they were all fucked up. Like I had to like take like just like I had to work with very little. I had like 150 credits. Like that was like the free allotment on Google Flow, and then could only generate like 4 clips, and then they were all kind of fucked up. But like I had like 3 seconds here and there that I could like use, and then I threw Frank Ocean on that. I threw the Frank Ocean on it because to me it sounded like I remembered like when he was talking about the French guy with the on his album Blonde with the there's like a little skit how like, you know, it had his girlfriend or something like broke up with him because, you know, he didn't like accept her friend request on Facebook. And I remember there was some background music playing that kind of sounded like the Facebook movie, so I thought that sounded like you know, like an Apple commercial or something like that. And I remembered that in the last song, it's just like a big interlude or like ending outro thing, like where it has that like clean clip of that. And I'm like, okay, well, we're not like throwing money at this or like, you know, we don't care. Like it's not promoted. We're not running ads on it or anything. So like, fuck it. I'll just use Frank Ocean on it. And I think it turned out pretty cool. But yeah, let's, pretty much almost an hour into this. And, I mean, it really only took like 5 to 10 minutes to improve this shit on pre.dev. But I guess like what we could do now is we could continue the hearing from Elena.
To start using product on an ongoing basis. So it's purely product engagement based.
No, I really like her. I think she, like, Lovable does such a good job at growth. You know, and they just built a great product for the right time, and they were early. Like, I just think that like where we fit in is like more applicable to real life. Like they're good for like the websites that are like 1 or 2 layers of complexity deeper than like a Wix. You know, same with like Base 44 and Replit. But I think when you start getting complex applications that have like very niche needs, that's where, you know, we excel because it's a lot more hands off and guided. It's not just like a one generation, like you feed it a credit and it gives you one image like DALL-E. Like ours is like an ongoing process that evolves over time and like has persistent memory. You know, it's an actual coding agent. Like I wouldn't say Lovable and Replit are effective at iteration and coding agents like Claude Coded, but we give you that Claude Code like feel in the browser. But the problem with Claude Code is it's too hard for non-technical people to use because it's like it really takes dedicated, you know, watching. Like you have to watchdog that shit, otherwise it will screw up your stuff. And once it starts screwing up your code and it's going rogue, even with Opus, it's hard to get back if you don't know what you're doing. So So that's where, yeah, pre.dev definitely helps here. I mean, I would say like now here, like, can we analyze what we have and then actually build architecture for notoriety, which is an anonymous marketplace. Let's make it full stack using Express
on daily basis, which we call
First,
active builders. So you're right.
and Drizzle
metric often for us.
for
just an action that provides value, but
simple
it can be fairly light, but not
API and
or just
database.
because that is just like nonsensical in terms of it doesn't mean anything.
Do the majority of sites not require very limited interaction? When you think about habitual usage,
and let's use Quick for auth.
Amazing, you have a beautiful site, much better than 20 VCs.
Or not, like we just custom implement auth.
So ashamed. But like we don't change it. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm spinning this guy
up.
up.
If it's live and it's functioning and it's getting traffic, you're getting value out of it. That's great for us.
Look at those cold starts, like 2-3 seconds cold starts, and then they're straight to thinking.
Some of them are just in the consumption state. Both are good. There's no preference for us of one versus the other value whatsoever. If anything, we just like measure and watch for proportions just to make sure that there's a good enough amount of apps that are getting traffic and receiving value that way. So we're not just about building, we're also about value capture after the build is complete.
What are your biggest lessons on conversion to paid in this new world of PLG AI prosumer tools?
My biggest lessons are a couple of fold. Lesson number one, do not lock people in subscription as the only way to monetize you. I know that we all love our annual recurring revenue and our multiples are decided by.
She's right, but like, I just don't think that it's like rocket science pricing. Like, it's literally like, how efficient can your solution be on the marketplace tokens that give people the perception that they're making progress and like getting use out of it and not spending too fast. And then like you'll get them on a subscription. If they go over, it's going to be overage. And like you get a certain amount of tokens per month. And that's pretty much how it all works. And like yeah, you know, it's pretty simple. Like just depends what that price per token. It might vary. Like Devin is a little more expensive. You got Quad Code has different like levels. Cursor has different levels. Even though Cursor is like low key like dead, like to me at least as like a skilled developer, like as a top 1% developer, like I don't use Cursor anymore. It's actually embarrassing. it's embarrassing because I use Cursor. I used to use like Sublime Text or Vim in the terminal, literally straight up. And then when Cursor started coming out with like Command K and all that, like I got convinced to use VS Code, which I always hated. And now, because it got me to switch and I got used to their text editor, I literally use Cursor just to search and like view files occasionally. I literally don't even use their agent. It's like disgusting, honestly. And I still have a Cursor subscription because I haven't like canceled it. So like I don't even use their agent. I use Quad Code in the terminal. I use pre.dev, obviously. Now, it's funny because like now that pre.dev is built, it's like we feel like a little hesitant to use pre.dev to build pre.dev because we're like scared, low key, because we're like we don't know what our roadmap is now because we reached all our goals. We're like, okay, we built like the best planner, best architecture engine, best like graph search memory, like over time, like sandboxes, like optimized scalability, any tech stack, like I don't even know like what else, like parallelization, RLM, functional or like programmatic tool calling. Like we have literally everything we because like we're good devs ourselves, and now with Quad Code able to ship, and now we have pre.dev, so it's like we can, you know, can see what it did here, but basically you can see that created an entire like roadmap for us now. So like all we got to do is we could literally select build on autopilot or just like start building code, which goes one at a time. And then it's going to just build on top of this shit. Like I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to tell it what to build. I can like look at, you know, the plan and all that is here, or it's like in line. Like this is one of the cool parts about like having an actual GUI is that, you know, we could send all this shit in chat. So like generated system architecture, like you could see we're getting Express API, Drizzle, Postgres, Stripe payments, SendGrid. So it added these like new elements to the system, AWS S3. And this is like where we excel is system architecture, which is so important in software engineering that people don't understand. Like, and this is where like all the people that build through Lovable and Replit get hung up because they're like confined to one stack that they pick for you. And sometimes, you know, you need to be malleable. You need to refactor sometimes. Like in this one, like I was just like, you know what, screw Superbase because I don't feel like setting up like an account on Superbase and whatever. Let's just do Drizzle and whatever in here. And it was able to adapt it on the fly. You can't do that in Lovable and Replit. If you're going to do it in Claude Code, you have to be on your local file system. You have to know what the hell you're doing. So unmatched, you know. And now we have this full plan. You just click start building code and it'll start. It loads this up. So this is a setup node. So it actually has to set up the database, the dev environment, etc. Because that shit wasn't even set up in the Lovable case. Oh my god, fucking ads.
Speaking of commoditization of models there, how do you think about creating stickiness in what is seemingly a very
we really do need like shit to watch on the side because like this is so hands off. We don't do anything. I literally just click start building and you can see it's researching the project. It has a proprietary search. It has all the same tools that Claude has, but it has like this crazy graph memory that extends from the requirements all the way down to the code. And it can, search tool has all these different modes that it can more flexibly traverse the code base than pure grep. So, and then it can also do the sub agents and parallel shit.
Because like it's becoming so much more.
We will happily pick up the scraps from like Lovable and Replit's 1 billion ARR as they churn motherfuckers because like their shit just doesn't work for people. Like I was literally on like 2-3 calls last week with people that scheduled meetings with us because they have like a Lovable or Replit project that doesn't work. And you know, little do they know they could just do this and they can import it into pre.dev. But we're like, okay, we'll do it on your behalf if you want. But it's like so accessible for everyone. It starts at free. And then you probably like just on the free version you get auth and like landing, like, and it's pretty nice. The fuck's happening over there? I told my co-founder that we had an issue with that earlier. You know, sometimes things aren't perfect.
Logical wins and moving faster than ever.
Oh shit.
To drive growth. AI generated video is the future. I was just playing with video platform where I uploaded my just still photo and it just created a full thing of me moving my hands, doing the full.
No, I mean, see, like sometimes bugs happen.
Transitions with an app screen.
Looks like during this research plan, it was streaming and then like our browser kind of freaked out a little bit, but we're gonna report that bug
where it's just like handcrafted,
to our Notion.
It's like a craft.
You know,
just like think about like taking a picture versus painting the picture.
Anyways, it's still implementing. It didn't. It was just a UI bug.
But I think
see, we're not hiding shit. Like we're actually battle testing this. Like,
and even any creatives are going to be at AI models on video creation.
Oh, you see, it's like parallelizing all this
are improving
automatically
in such a rapid way, and they can create.
It's just like you could look
and
closely at what it's doing,
in a way
like
that you would never be
drizzle
able to
config,
record
wrote
properly
like
in one shot.
some schema,
But
SQL
I
shit,
think
like
it's the future. I'm like playing around even with creating animation for
TS config stuff.
myself when I'm reading my own blog.
And yeah, it's just working on that stuff. It's 17 out of 22 dudes. They made 22 dudes.
For me, so it looks like I'm reading it
Database seed.
and like annotating it, but it's not me. It's AI doing all of the work. So I think the future of advertising is going to be almost purely all AI.
Listen, it's called connecting, and it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, you guys just saw what I made with that video. I mean, that was AI. The thing is, you know, I hate saying like the taste argument or whatever, but you see a lot of like super shitty, like if I were to go on LinkedIn, like some of the AI shit that people generate is just so trash. Let me see if I can find some. Like, let's see. Come on, give us. Like the ones that are like super involved. Yeah, like this. This is trash. This shit, trash. Claude has some fire videos. Like this, super trash. Like you could tell like the trash AI, but like Claude's using AI to make their shit too, but it's not complete trash. God, LinkedIn is literally the worst. Okay, anyways, you get the picture. Let's go back here. What's it doing? So it looks like it's had to install some packages and whatever. We got the full editor. We can see shit if we need to. We can see the version history. All right, let's get back to this.
Better Economy is sponsoring newsletters, creators. People try and do this and they spray money, I think, pretty badly.
I think we're like
lack of capability. And I'm not even talking
well as a growth
yeah.
tactic.
So such a great question. Lovable has a
I've had some practice.
Lovable should just fucking buy us for like, you know, a couple $100 mil. I wouldn't mind hanging up the jersey. No, we just did so much. We did so much as a small company, and like we really sacrificed a lot to make this product where it is today, because it's such a hard product to build that we had to put everything in it, and we had to like go through the trouble of learning what it took to get good at planning, which is like a lot harder than I basically built like this perfect copy of Claude Code that actually works and streams and our native agent. That like coding agent I built in like 2 weeks. So it just shows that it's not hard to actually build an agent harness, but like the secret sauce is our planning, our memory. Like that is the tough part, where it's like, how do you get these agents to actually work over time and not just produce bullshit, like, and not actually be autonomous and self-driving. Like you can see this, like I've literally typed in one prompt this whole video. We're already 1 hour and eight minutes in. I only typed one prompt. Like if you're in a Claude session, I have to interrupt it every 7 seconds and say like, yo, like don't do this. Like, are you sure about that? Like this basically checks itself, so I don't even have to I can kind of just look at the result, you know? And look at the screenshots it took. Eventually we'll have the fucking product video thing like Cursor does, you know? But they also have like full computer use. I just feel like that's a waste. Like you really only need like Bash with like a lightweight Playwright-like Chromium extension. And then I wish there was like a better way to continuously stream images and stuff, but it's like it's not really even needed for most applications, I would say. You could do it over time, so you could sample. And then we have a but it's also expensive. Like that's what people don't understand. Like the hard part these days about being a coding agent is that like if you're not Anthropic or OpenAI and you can't subsidize tokens, then you better fucking be context efficient. Otherwise, there's no possible way to even exist because you're going to be spending more than you make. And that's one of the hard parts about being us is that we don't have like that 8 billion valuation and 400 million in the bank from VCs where we could subsidize to make up for our shitty products, context inefficient solutions, or if you're Anthropic, just bump the fucking context window up to 1 milli, give people like a false sense of like performance temporarily. You know, I don't think that's the solution. That's why, like, okay, we get that 100 milli from the VCs, like, and we subsidize, like, it wouldn't even be fair because, like, they get, like, too much. It's like the customer's getting too much now. I feel bad. I'm like, I feel bad for, like, developers and like, and stuff like that where, like, it really completely replaces them, like, PMs and developers completely. Like, it's honestly better than most founders, most startups, full dev team, probably most companies, period. Like, if you're a dental office, you could have a dev team through pre.dev, essentially. It's like you have something that's better than like your average dev team now, you know, for a very reasonable, maybe $200 a month. Like, you get what you need. You can make a full app. You can make websites, data analytics, whatever the fuck you want. Any language. No tech experience.
You do. Can you send me some my way? My daughter loves them.
I'm going to write you. You can have an array of some of them. By the way, the startups are dead, but the Stanley Cup survives.
Dude, I love Harry Stebbings. I tweeted at him in like yesterday, and he liked it. He's always like hung up about trying to be like, yo, Europe's like a great place for founders. Like people don't need to go to SF. Which, like, honestly, I agree with him. Like, it really doesn't matter where you are right now. Like, people give me that argument all the time because I live in Miami. They're like, oh, you need to live in New York. You need to live in San Francisco. I'm like, bro, I lived in San Francisco for like 4 years, like Bay Area. Like, I lived, you know, in Philly for mad long. And I'm just like, yo, I like Miami. It's hot. Like, you know, there's good weather.
I don't know if I have the right
among other things that people know of. And, you know, there's honestly a growing tech scene, and I think it's pretty sweet. Like, we're actually participating in this accelerator, Scale to Miami by Mana Tech, and, you know, we're excited to be a part of that, and we just continue building in the city. My co-founder is in New York, so we have presence there, but I feel like it's all like, yeah, if Anton can make a $8 billion Lovable from Stockholm, we could do it from Miami, you know? We have to move that step, we have to move that step. It is what it is, but like, to be honest with you, I don't think it matters that much. But anyways, back to the Harry Stebbings thing, like, he basically was saying something about how, like, oh, another win for Europe, like, Europe's like the place for founders, and then I was like, yeah, I would really like if, you know, my co-founder and I could, like, spend 2-3 hours for lunch with wine and cheese and then have a siesta and then work for 1 more hour. Like, as a joke, because, you know, we work so much in America. Like, we work, like, 8 a.m. to, like, literally 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Like, we did that for literally, like, 2 years straight. Like, I'm burned out as fuck right now. And, like, we put everything into this product because, like, look at this shit. Like, fucking programmatic tool calling. No one has this. Streaming programmatic tool calling, right? Like, we basically have the best version of every part of the stack. And the thing that brings it all together is planning, which no one has. And we have an API for it, so if you want to use it, you know, docs.pre.dev. But, yeah, it's about to spread like wildfire because it really is like one of the only true solutions for those that have trouble with the Claude Code stuff. And even downloading this and having Claude Code do it, you're going to have to be in the weeds. I'm sitting here on my couch. I didn't even put it at the desk because I knew that I'm just gonna be able to like chill on this coding agent just like working in the background. And I don't even know what it's doing right now. Like, let's see what's happening.
So deeply written in patterns and frameworks and like how things used to be done, because that's been
Some
my
white
entire
proxy
professional
bullshit.
career. And I do have a lot of patterns that will help company to not trip up over obvious things. I do bring
But see, you know, this is the truth of the matter is that like this back and forth testing that would like go into like, okay, I need to add Express and like drizzle and shit to like a project. I just picked some random shit just because. It's actually a pain in the ass to get it running first. Like people don't understand that. So like the fact that we can like, I don't have to go and do that back and forth and pass it logs and like, you're like, oh, it's crashing. I didn't have to install this or that. This guy's like doing all that shit on his own, and like however long it takes, like it's way cheaper than the like $150 an hour that a developer is. So, you know, I would say our credits go farther than anyone, and I live by that. And as soon as Fireworks gets their shit together, we'll have Kimmy instead of Haiku here, and it's gonna do even better. Look, it's even running Docker. Like you can run Docker in Docker. Like no one can do that. No one can do that. It's like installed Postgres to the system. It's running it with Docker. Like without me having to tell it jack shit. You know, this is like multi-service architecture within our sandbox. Like we've even made, even the sandboxing, we've made so many innovations that go without saying. To get this working end to end for any stack.
Number one is try to have pre-mortems about what would happen if your numbers start to go down. So you have the action plan.
You can see she got a little nervous when they start talking about churn. You got a little nervous. You got a little nervous when they start talking about churn at Lovable. But the VC had to ask it.
So this should be happening before any big release, before any big launch, before end of the year.
The espresso.
Let's do pre-mortems. The best.
You gotta have espresso.
Best
black
forward is the worst things happen to you. Competitor
black espresso.
So like I really believe in having those conversations early on. Number two, knowing the key predictive indicators that will lead you into the decline.
But yeah, Harry Stebbings liked that tweet. That was a golden moment. I just really got on Twitter like a week ago. Started fights with Theo, started fight with Steinberger. Got Harry to like my shit. Thought to be your favorite thought leader.
Actual revenue impact is going to get hit. So those two things I think are important. And I think number three,
it's the founder being me.
You have to accept the fact that some people don't do good.
And look, like we're not 100% there in terms of coding it. But
and you need to look at your culture and say
I would say that, you know, we are making the most progress right now. You know, I hate to, I'm not even being humble. It's like, you see it. Even if you look at our, I like to like look at this video that I was showing you guys about the open claw where it's Claude Code versus us. Like, I'm just going to even watch it with like sped up with no, with no sound. You can see like how fast the streaming and how fast like you get through shit with our agent harness on the right compared to Claude Code is just like motionless. Like it gives you those stupid little fidget widgeting or like shimmying or some bullshit like that when it's just gaslighting you and like taking forever. Whereas you look at this and it's like it's moving through shit. If we skip ahead a little bit, like I mean the parallel shit is not even comparable. Like it does it by default.
Do you obsess about your competitors and let them dictate your roadmap and your growth and marketing activities? I don't think so. You have to look at it through the lens of what works for them.
Like even the edit stream, like line by line, like these are like little engineering things that people don't understand are like really tough to get working in prod. And those are like the touches, the icing on the cake that we spend like the utmost time to make sure it works. And like even on mobile, like mobile Safari, you can run this and it looks like you have a terminal on mobile, like mobile Safari.
moving so much
Like
faster.
nowhere else can you like
Almost
do this type of
paves the
Claude
way
Code-esque
to just have a
development,
very
like just
clear
on mobile Safari like that. Like
point of view of where you need to
any
go
stack,
and put all
any
efforts
multi-service
behind that
architecture.
hypothesis and
Like look at this.
praying and hoping that
It's
it plays out.
progressing.
But
You can
not
see
just
that
talking
like it
about
has a
that
lot
doesn't
to
anymore.
like
Because
accept
it's
in
gonna
its
be a
acceptance
survival.
criteria, and it's not necessarily easy. And actually, this is more like a Ralph loop, if you think about it. It's kind of like a Ralph loop where it's kind of not deterministic, and we kind of let it go open-ended because that's like the developer will try to implement something. You might implement it with Claude Code, for instance, like a coding agent, and then what actually we spend the most time on is like the back and forth verification and like tweaking of like that original implementation, which is like 80% of the time. So that's why you can see this has been spending time in acceptance, and it's at like the second task, and it has a lot of criteria because like this was like a heavy setup. Like there were 3 stories, like with setting up a database, setting up a backend, plugging it into the front end, scaffolding that stuff, adding packages, and like you can see it compile. It was like
what if we'll be able to do all of that? Why would you need design
and
where it can shortcut all of those stages for you?
Yeah, I don't know what it did with the CSS there, but
And they have Figma made.
basically it compiles
How do you think about that?
and has the shit set up. So like if we go to code, for instance,
don't start with Figma. And there's a pretty large population of the
okay, we have the code
designers
here.
that start in Figma, and Figma makes a lot of sense for them if they want to have their functional prototypes.
So these are like, if we want production environment variables, it just scans it for you, or you can paste the text. Just makes it easier. It's like Doppler or something to manage environment variables. Because secrets are one of the biggest pain in the asses and like are important for like everything related to external services and APIs. So here you can see we have our code base from Lovable.
I always worry about
let's see what it did in
boys
terms
and girls
of
in the world. So OpenAI's, Anthropic, Google's, Apple's, more so than our competitors that spring up from the bottom or from sideways. And the reason that I worry about them more, and I think everybody should be worried about them more, they just have the distribution hold in the market.
Oh, here, server. So I guess like the streaming got scaled. But look, set up DB,
of what you can create,
schema, seed, middleware, auth,
so whoever
routes.
has the best distribution that
Can you give me a quick summary of what you just implemented?
It's going to be the winner in the market. So I worry about the companies that have
I can't spell implement. No.
How's that level of distribution now?
I think they're making really great games.
Perfect fucking memory. Doesn't even have to use a tool or anything.
Most is that
we're
going to create a little bit more.
3 API route modules ready for implementation. And like the cool part is you could click back to the progress. We go to this.
But there's a whole world out there that hasn't even tried AI and how far behind they're going to be.
These are all the screenshots that were in our session.
Is that it creates such a huge disparity.
You can see we did these 3. The next thing would be JWT authentication or sign up. Let's see, we're doing like a pretty like basic like express like just like traditional stack of like front end and server. Like sometimes you don't have to overcomplicate it. Sometimes like
AI technology,
you get like the TRPC, you get Next.js, and it's heavyweight for what you need. A lot of people sometimes need lighter weight things, and like it's nice to be able to customize it along the way. You see how detailed these are.
And I'm going to start with a super easy one following that conversation.
Even user flow mapped out everything that we need. Super sick.
What to do? What
the stories.
I would tell them to, first of all, be
Okay,
AI first
run
in
build next
everything,
task.
make AI do so much work for them that otherwise they would have expected to learn somewhere else or be able to do something else, and start a side hustle.
Onboarding
Right
and
now, it's like the world is prime for everybody to have.
So it's gonna go start again the research, coding, implementation, or sorry, verification phases. That's how sick this is. Literally don't have to do jack shit. I'm telling you, it's the most autonomous experience that exists today.
Right now, I truly believe it's going to be a company of $1 billion company running solo by somebody. I would challenge my kids.
We're gonna do it by with like 2 or 3 people, 2 founders.
Yeah, it's Peter Steinberg with OpenClaw. I mean, it was unannounced how much he got bought for. But
I feel like Steinberger didn't sell for $1 billion. I feel like that's a lie. Because no one, it's undisclosed. I don't think it's $1 billion.
Who else in tech?
OpenClaw has such trash as we went over.
Brand
I get my phone.
in the last year.
I think Granola has done a wonderful job. And from the product's perspective, I see the Whisper Flow also spreading like fire across many people. And again, it's mostly like a people talking about it so much. So it's really like customer-led. Customers are being their biggest marketing agents, and I think it's genius.
I have to say, I couldn't live without it.
Yeah.
I'm texting, but like, you know, I've said enough. I've been giving you guys so much sauce at this point. Like, I really think that our team is literally like one of the most advanced engineering wise in all of AI, and like knowledgeable across the whole system is Arjun and I. Like, we're literally the new age Larry and Sergey, and that's the best description of us. Like, we're a fucking killer ass team, you know.
Sometimes, and I'm like, oh my god, how is this still like live and functioning? And like, how is this not? It's been like deprecated by now.
I mean, just appalling. What channel did you spend on that you wish you'd never spent
Meta.
on?
Meta.
Just very little incrementality. Just a bunch of.
She's right. It's a trash. Meta is a trash platform, but I would say that we got good conversions off of Meta. It depends on your content. The problem is Lovable's ads are such trash.
So I still do influencers through social platforms, but not just like full on just Meta ads. I haven't seen them work in a little while.
If you were to call up a growth leader today before they start a new role, what would you tell them?
Get ready to drop 80% of what you know and lean into the new way of working and growing company.
That's reassuring.
It's also super exciting because I don't know, I've been bored in the space for the last 5 years thinking everything looks.
Oops. This fucking.
Right now, as you watch this, your brain is being hijacked. I think you're in control. Logical wins are moving fast and that.
I'm gonna text Arden right now about that.
Biggest ways that growth is changing in a world of AI.
I have a couple of ways that I think is changing. Thing number one is that as software creation is becoming democratized and functionality is becoming available to anyone to build, whether you buy it from somebody, whether you build it yourself, and honestly doesn't matter anymore. If you want to actually sell software and grow your business, growth is a trust problem now. Who do I trust to actually purchase it from? Who do I trust to use it from? Do I believe in the team that is building behind it? Because otherwise, I'm just gonna go create my own. If I don't believe that they're gonna continue
what are we
worrying
doing
about my
now?
needs and they're gonna continue evolving it. So
It just does shit so fast. It does so much shit that you can't even really keep up with it. Like, because it actually treats its to-dos like a dependency graph. So it's like parallelizing them automatically and like synchronizing them automatically and like it dispatches them automatically. It's really crazy, honestly. And like these are all like sub agents that are working.
Software functionality that you're trying to grow. You're really trying to create what I call.
This is all haiku. This is literally the shittiest model. Like, no one that uses Cloud Code, no one that uses any of these solutions actually uses haiku because it's so bad. But we could get away with it because we're just that good.
I actually almost compare it to Maslow's pyramids of needs. Like the bottom, the layer of just like, okay, it works. Okay, I can kind of believe that it'll do security and all of the other pieces. Now I need to be able to connect to it. And we as humans always want to connect with something. We don't like utilities, we don't like tools. And the more software starts to have actually some sort of personality that helps us trust it too, it's almost becoming like a minimum bar in order to even kickstart the growth. And then the last thing I would say, in terms of growth tactics themselves, all of the performance marketing or like the optimizations are just becoming something that's getting automated pretty quickly. It's actually fascinating to watch. So to me,
She's right.
Now is trying something new, trying to be.
I really think like cold outreach is like kind of broken. Like
once lifetime.
I get so many bullshit avatar like DMs on Twitter and LinkedIn that I like would never respond to. It's like so saturated. Email too. I really think like it's gonna get back to the core like basics of quality content wins, and I think Lovable does good with content, but they also just pay off all these influencers that like pretend to use it, and like the truth is that
what becomes more important is your product as a channel, where
I've tried Lovable and I just like cannot actually work with it. Like I could maybe get a first draft, download it, and Claude code it, or import it into pre.dev would be ideal, because like pre.dev is like the revolution where like it's the most hands-off shit ever. Like even as a dev, like I might just like retire the terminal. I might retire Cursor. As I said, I only use Cursor as like a text editor, which is pretty sad. It's like I'm just stupid. I'm just like, I hate changing things, and like it was hard to get me to change the Cursor in the first place, and then now it's like, okay, it's my text editor. I look at diffs through it. I like manage like merges, but like I don't use the agent. It's crazy.
But is SEO still fruitful? Absolutely. Like you still have to invest in SEO if you want to.
Absolutely. I love that she said that, yo. She's chill. See, I'm not the only one dropping F-bombs here.
It's just something that you have to do. This is not going to be the reason why you're going to stand out and win.
Yeah, she's right.
Brand to Lovable's user acquisition. I think Anton's amazing. Every new hire, he does the picture with them, or maybe senior hire, but he does the picture with them. I think it's brilliant.
I think Anton is brilliant. I think the problem is like he wants to be part of that San Francisco like cult so bad. He should just like do his own thing and continue like doing his thing and building his empire in like Sweden, and
how important is his brand right now?
He doesn't have to like fit in. He doesn't have to take ice baths and all that shit.
We have other channels in which we're growing. Our users are very active. Our community is very strong. We have a lot of user-generated content. We have other people.
Yeah, paid user-generated content. But I guess the people are obsessed with Lovable. But like, I'm telling you, like I was on a call with someone that had a Lovable prototype, and like they want validation from me so bad, but like I already know that like if I'm gonna take this to prod, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be like hard work where I have to like trim all the weeds, because like it's just such a shit code base where they think that things work, but like they truly do not. And like the like difference between working and not working is super hard to like for non-coders to visualize, like that. It's everything. Like you have like 99% best code, but like there's a tiny little bug. Like I'm gonna turn off the AC real quick just so it doesn't fuck with the sound.
Only one that he was at the beginning, and that's a really big difference.
I mean, Lovable has done all they could do marketing-wise. I think their bottleneck right now is actually product, where like they can't like. I think their customer success like metrics are probably trash, because like no one. It's like a bunch of like. It's like a graveyard. It's like a bunch of half-baked products like this one, like literally like this one exactly. Where'd it go?
I really mean where you start building in public, and you encourage your employees to build in public and their social following.
Slow.
and really reach your customer through your own team's voices. I think that is the channel that so many companies underestimate how important and how powerful it is, how much trust it builds, how much it unites people behind you in your mission, because they see the people that build the company and they want to connect to other
She's
people.
right. She's right. Follow me on Twitter. Kairos _ finest.
And in this world where we're bombarded with marketing messages everywhere we turn, be able to see and be able to connect is what it's all about, that trust piece that I'm like circling back over and over again. So I think it's
this dumbass agent always like does a browser screenshot like for no reason before it adds like browser navigate, which forgets to open up its browser. There's so many micro optimizations that go into like making an agent work. Like I've spent like hours and hours over the last 2-3 months like perfecting this. It's the biggest pain in the ass, especially to get it to work with like Haiku, who's like a sketch.
Every startup should be going into is founder-led socials.
Build in public for your own employees. If I'm a founder,
Oh, what the?
I'm not even talking.
Wow. Dude, YouTube is like lagging out for me.
Guys, we just built an app. Impossible. Ignorant. Code. Interesting. Can you generate reports?
Yeah, now.
Are you saying we can all build apps now?
Yeah.
How much? Just built an inventory tracker.
Protein calculator.
Let's get an app. A workflow manager.
No one seems to care.
About bots and actual changes in products that are based on frustrations, that are based on lack of capacity.
As well as a growth.
Yeah. So such a great question. Lovable has a.
I've had some practice, Elena. You know,
I don't even remember where the fuck we were.
Passionate about the product left. If you have a founder profile on you, you're going to be more likely to get hired by a company if you want to get hired by a company.
Never. You're not a real founder if you're trying to get fucking hired. We're consulting if this shit don't work out, but it's not going to not work out.
I would challenge my kids to be that solopreneur with $1 billion company.
I don't know if I'd wish this on my kids, though. You need like one motherfucker per generation to do this, and you need a generation off.
Let my kid be the second one then.
From a growth perspective, alternative SaaS, I'm not saying competitor, but who else in tech do you think has done growth brand so well in the last year?
I think Granola has done a wonderful job. And from the product's perspective, I see the Whisper Flow also spreading like fire across many people. And again, it's mostly like a people talking about it so much. So it's really like customer-led. Customers
type check passes, let's go.
Marketing agents, and I think it's genius.
Use Zod too.
I never ever type emails anymore. I type them to LPs because I need to make sure there's
I never type on my phone. Like Granola, not Granola, Whisper Flow is like the only reason that I can type.
I make it a priority that every single email, except for people that I don't like and don't give a shit about, and every LinkedIn post, every X post is from me. You can see because there's some grammar issues in there. There's some run-on sentences, but I feel like that humanized version of it like hits harder than anything else.
Still like live and functioning, and like how is this not is been like deprecated by now?
I mean, just boring. What channel did you spend on? We should never spend.
Oh, yeah, we did this already.
I'm actually very excited about
Alright. That was pretty solid. I mean, I think where are we at right now with this guy? Still fixing some shit. For all the ADD people out there, now we don't got like an extra video in the background. Sorry. We need Temple Run up in this bitch. Maybe I'll edit it in, put some Temple Run for you, hyperactivity people. Okay. Nice. No. Still failed, but more and more things are passing, you see? It's an incremental process. Like, getting code working especially, you know, freestyling it with a shitty model. Now, I want to emphasize that we're using Haiku now. I was going to show you pro mode, but for some reason my account needs to upgrade. Probably because I was on like premium and we launched a pro version and pro mode is only available. So, yeah, it's not asking me to subscribe right now, but I don't feel like, opening up Stripe and all that shit, showing you guys the secret code to free tokens. But do you see how long this agent's running while I'm hands off? Like, that's why there's nothing like it right now. Like, there's nothing like it in the coding space, and the coding space is the most competitive, most vital market to win in all of AI. It's the bottleneck where if you own coding, you could basically own everything else. And, I think some of the fundamental issues we solve for coding actually translate to a lot of other domains. Planning is like a big ass problem. Like, even if you're like OpenClaw, right? Thing is gonna run for a while, but like it's like a bare bones, cron job. It's like writing a bunch of MD files. It loses track of it all of a sudden, has to compress it, doesn't really scale, forget shit, relying on the context window. See here, implementing some auth, without having to like sign in with Superbase or anything. Our actual like full stack template, which if you start a project from scratch, actually has Clerk already built into it. So it'll set up a dev Clerk instance for you. You don't have to worry about anything. And then it works with OAuth and Google and GitHub out of the box. So, but this just is an example of like, yo, we just took a random project and some random stack that Lovable, that Anton chose himself. And we took that stack, we imported it, reverse engineered it in pre.dev, and then we improved the landing page with Haiku, got great results. If we had Opus, I wish we had Opus because you guys would have been like, God damn. But then what we did was we scoped out some features. We're like, okay, let's actually build this because Lovable gave us a landing page and like basic like fake data marketplace, no auth, a search that didn't do anything. And now we're actually scoping out the features, and we have this full plan, this full roadmap in our spec. And then we also have it here visualized where you can, see we got a good amount of features to go through before this is done. Because it's not a simple application. There's like buyers, two-sided marketplace. It's supposed to be private. You're not allowed, like, it's an anonymous note marketplace. So you got to like show them some of the note. You can't show them all of it. It has to have like two different profiles, whether you're a buyer or a seller. So right now, see, it's like even testing its own auth. And it implemented it custom. Like, yeah, maybe you could use Superbase, maybe use Clerk, but sometimes when you need really custom auth flows, like just straight up JWT token, like Express is like the simplest, most lightweight option. You see? Now this is like back end to front end verification. So it's actually, it ran into an issue where it tried to submit the sign in and or sign up and it, threw some type of an error. So now it's looping back and the coding agent's like working on, fixing this up. So nice. Yeah, I might do more of these streams, just kind of comment on the state of AI from our perspective in the trenches of the AI coding war, where we're like, kind of stealth mode, like coming out of stealth mode, and trying to compete for best coding agent platform, period. And as these models get better, you're gonna see this get better and better. Like this is with like, let's like pull up Haiku, Sui, no, not Sui ranking. Haiku, yeah, Haiku is that's high reasoning. Where the fuck is not bad. Yeah, but it's not Opus. And once we get Kimmy going, you're gonna get even better UI and like better performance out of this. It's gonna spend less tokens at half the rate, as well as just like not waste time on stupid shit. Like, you know, Haiku just goes in these documentation cycles randomly, and like, you know, sometimes it gets stuck on stuff because it's just not that smart. Yeah, I mean, this is like one thing that I think would be interesting if coding agents could solve is like it is kind of still clunky, like the way it has to navigate and like take screenshot. And that, like maybe one thing we should add is like as it navigates, it auto takes a screenshot or something. Kind of keep it on track where it almost like has to like request turns. God damn it. Testing the API. There's some internal service error, server error. Making some backend fixes. See, like this is backend development, full stack development. Hands off too. I mean, obviously, like I know exactly, like I could prompt it. I could still prompt it just like Claude Code and probably get it to where it needs faster. But this is the hands off approach. This is where like I could just kick back and watch some more YouTube. You know, um, I'll upload this live stream. I'll probably cut it up into clips, but I want to do them more often. Like just show our product in action, which you know I think like the others don't do enough of because first off, like if you're on like Replit or something, there's literally nothing to look at. There's literally like nothing to look at. Like it just doesn't give you like good like feedback and shit. It's just like you're like looking at a blank screen. At least with us, you could kind of like watch what it's doing, like learn from what it's doing if you don't know how to do software dev, because it's literally going through the same process that devs would. Using its browser. See, another, oh my god. See, it fucked something up again. But like the point is that um, it's testing all this and doing it all itself without me having to do anything. Oh yeah, I was gonna say one of the biggest pain in the asses with Claude Code, right, is that every 10 minutes of like diligent work that it has to compress. I guess with the million context window, that might be different, but also with the million context window, it's going to go off the rails because it's like not guaranteed that just because you have a bigger context window that it, stays more on track. But just having to compress like every so often, like you see, I've been running this thing for like an hour, like, you know, hands off completely, just taking this Lovable project to the next level. And like we could just continually develop this all damn day as it'll run through that entire roadmap until it's done. If I just click like autopilot. And I could put it in pro mode too, and then it would be using Opus, and it would like run into less issues probably. Like part of the reason why it's running into issues, it's catching its own issues in acceptance criteria and acceptance phase because it verifies all these. It's not letting it say it's done because when the agent says it's done, it's not actually done if it doesn't work. And that's like, the agents will always take the easy way out if you notice. So that's why you need it to check itself in a way. Tired. I'm tired. We literally work, my co-founder and I work 7 days a week. Like, it's a Monday, and I just worked all damn weekend. Like, all day, each day, 12 hours. And now it's Monday, and I'm like, okay, how are we getting through this week? I don't know. That's why we have the Cuban coffee. Being in Miami, it's a must. Another thing I noticed with like a lot of people that come to us, like users and stuff, is that I noticed that they have that vibe coding has created this like impression on them that you can just one shot shit and it's gonna work. Where like in real life, even if you're using like Codex or Claude Code and you know what the fuck you're doing, you still don't one shot shit. It's still like it might take you like fucking 5 hours to get one simple feature out the door, like that like has like some integration complexity or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, people just need to have a little more patience with dev because once you start introducing other services, database, backend, auth, now like you actually have to verify that when you click this button, this thing happens and it works. This page is protected. Like, um, that adds like more and more complexity and like more and more room for error. That's why, you just have to take a fine tooth comb over it and continue like that Ralph loop until the actual features work,